Alright, hello once again. Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, going through a series of video presentations I'm creating for the PowerPoint slides for Murox HTML4 and CSS3 4th edition, which is one of the two textbooks used for the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Web Development 1000 Web Development Technologies class. I am halfway through here, a little more than halfway through, Chapter 10. So, elements for adding multiple resources, pictures, source, and image, attributes of the source element. Let's take a look at some of these. Alright, so what are we doing here? Well, what we're doing is we're telling the system to use one of 4 different images that we have based upon screen size. So in essence, we're creating a media query for our images. It's within a picture tag, and what you'll notice here, oh, they don't show it, okay. But if we did this and grab these images, as we shrunk our screen, the picture would change and change and change. All right. And then we can tell it what we want it to basically. Here it's displaying an image in an alternative format. All right. Notice there's no alt tag there. Okay. And what they're getting into now is they're starting to talk about rollovers. Now, this is not a, you can't really tell anything from here on a rollover, but let's grab something here. So, let's go back into Google Images. And I'm going to literally type in image rollover. All right. Oh, let's see what we can find. So there's rollover. I don't know what that's going to do. Not much. But a real popular one to see for image rollovers. Let's see. How about diet rollover? I don't know if it'll have one here or not. But quite often what you find with these is you get, what it is it's kind of a before and after picture. Let's see if I can find something else. How about, I saw a commercial last night, Nutrisystem image rollover. I have no idea if I can find any here or not. But a lot of times what you'll see with these rollovers is before and after pictures are basically what they are. Let's see if they have anything here. See how when I put my mouse there, kind of before and after pictures, whatever you want to call it. All right. But the idea with a rollover, some people look at it as a before and after. Sometimes what you'll get is you might, for instance, you might get this picture. When you roll over it, as an example, you could get a close-up of the horse's face. All right. Typically, it's associated with a mouse hovering. So they show here, and you're going to see this. We are going to do this. So I don't ever want it to seem to any of you like, wow, you're kind of shafting us here, Jeff. No, you're going to see it. So notice what we're doing here. This is the image. It's got a height and a width. This says when we hover over it, change it to this image. Okay? All right. An image in a browser with hotspots created by an image map. Let's get a good image map example. I'm going to give you 2 of them. First one. All right, for the first one here, I'm going to ask for a US map hotspot. All right, and with something like that, let's grab this. We'll grab that one. Okay, how about this? So you'll notice here if I go up to Wisconsin and I click, All right, it's an overview. That's not a great example. Well, how about we'll try it in Google Images. Because the other one I was going to show you that actually does work very well also is the human skeleton. How about human body hotspot? All right, what you can typically do with that, well, usually we see a skeleton. I don't see any right there. All right, so the idea is what you can do is you can take your mouse, and when this comes up, you can click on different places. All right, and well, I'm having a lot of luck this morning, none of it very good. But the idea is you can click on different spots and get information about those spots. Now, I've created one. The problem is I'm not sure where I put it. Let me check and see if by chance I've got it on the desktop. I probably don't, knowing my luck, but I'm going to check anyway. So, well, will wonders ever cease? This is something I created a long time ago. All right. But I came in here and made this thing on Mount Rushmore. Not pretty. All right. Notice it's got go to top tags. We've talked a little bit about that before. But when you take your mouse, notice my cursor isn't anything special. But I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to put it over Washington. Notice how it changes to a pointer. And when I click there, what it does is it brings up the Wikipedia page for George Washington. If I go to Jefferson, the Wikipedia page for Jefferson. If I go to, well, I lost it. Roosevelt and Lincoln, same thing. For some reason, I'm not opening those in new windows, and they should be. All right, but with a hotspot, what you can do is you can define an area of an image, and it can either be a square area, a round area, or a polygon area where it's, you know, a different kind of shape. And you can say when your mouse is over there and you click, you can bring something else up, whatever that something else happens to be. All right, they use this thing, and you know they're always kind of touting their own books, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know if this is a great idea. All right. Now, image editors. Let me just mention a couple things about these. Image editors can be unbelievably important when you want to come in and take a look at an image and be able to resize it, because many of them will allow you, when you resize it, to use pixels, to use points, and to use other types of things. Now, if you remember earlier, I came up and I had that picture sand.jpg. I'm going to bring that up in probably the crudest editor there is, so I'm going to do an open with, and I'm just going to open it with Paint. There's absolutely nothing wrong with using Paint. So I could click here, do this, but notice that's not really what I want. If I want to make this smaller, I can come in and click Resize right here, and notice it's percentages, so I could use that and say that I want, you know, maybe 50% here and there. Click OK, and you can see what happens. I could resave it like that. I really should keep my original. All right, but I can also click Resize and say in pixels, okay, and I'm going to take both these and divide them by about 4. So 1400 divided by 4, what, 350? And notice it automatically scales then the vertical. And there we go. So now if I go in there and I do a file and I do a save as, and I come in and I do a sand 2, now I've got 2 of them that I can use. All right. Now, if I am going to use that one instead, when I come back in here, I want to change this and I want to change this. All right, so what did we say that was? I think that was 350, and I don't remember what that scaled to. I don't know, I'll just say 155. Okay, and I want to use SAN 2. So you'll notice that if we do that and we go back to what we were looking at, to what we were looking at in here, well, doesn't like it. It says our picture of San Joaquin, which is good. So what doesn't it like? san2.jpg file, save as, because I didn't save it onto my desktop. Just gonna take it, drag it onto the desktop there. All right, says it already exists. Do I want to replace it? Yes. I don't know why it would say that, but there it is. All right. So there are many, many really good image tools that you can look at and use with this stuff. Some are free. GIMP is a really good example of that. Some you have to pay for. Here's again the typical type of editing operations. You already saw I changed the size. Image type, be real leery with that one. All right. Control the animation of an animated GIF. That can become really important. GIFs are the ones that probably animate the best. Save an image with a transparency or a matte. So a lot of times you'll work with the opacity. So you'll save something so that it's darker or lighter. Get coordinates for an image map. I already showed you an image map. Here's something without transparency and with transparency. So what's the difference? Here, it shows the background that came with that image. Here, the background is transparent, so it's got the regular background. Creative Commons, well, a couple things. Do not ever go out to a website and say, wow, these are really nice images, and just grab them and put them on your site. If you go to someone else's site and you see their images and you like them and want to use them, at a minimum, contact the person using email and ask for permission. Get permission that way. Even better than that, you know, when we build later, we're going to build the gym website. We're going to do that. It's not going to be that long before we start doing that. All right? So why am I telling you this? Well, the reason that I'm telling you this is when we build the gym website, sorry, just clearing this up, I'm going to go out to a place called pexels.com. Let me close a few of these. Not pixels, Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S.com. These, to my knowledge, are all free stock photos. So when we want to come in and we want to start working on our gym site, notice what I've got to choose from here. Okay, I've already been looking through these. I already know how I want to do this. But with Creative Commons, what you are saying is there's different levels that you can, that you can use here. Read this carefully. We will talk about it in more depth and breadth of coverage. But with some of these, you can use their pictures, but they want attribution. So you might want to say, you know, image provided by. All right. Some there's no qualifications. All right. Icon libraries, we're going to use Font Awesome rather. All right. Hopefully later we'll get into where we're working with Bootstrap. Bootstrap used to come with its own glyphicons or glyph icons. I call them glyphicons. All right. But now you use Font Awesome. Hopefully we'll talk a little bit about material icons as well. Here's HTML that uses Font Awesome, and you can see FA for Font Awesome, and you can put it in different sizes, etc. All right. I believe the last thing that's discussed in here is a favicon. And notice we've got a favicon here, and that's the way you set it up. The favicon is right there. What it is we've got, it looks like this image right here shrunk way down to typically about a 20 pixel by 20 pixel size. You put it in as a link, rel equals, so the relationship is a shortcut icon, and the href, typically you put it in your images folder and you call your favicon, favicon.ico. All right. There are plenty of tools out there that you can use, some of which are free, to create your own favicons. All right. Finally, I guess, scalable vector graphics, or SVGs. All right. These become really important when you're working and you want to draw things or work with things like logos, etc. Remember that typically this file right here, this type of file would be a GIF type of file. This, you could actually hand draw this using code like this. All right? All right. Looks like that's an image rollover. When you roll over here, you get this. All right? And that's it. So I didn't think it would take 2 lectures. It did. Yeah, they're both about the same size, so I guess that was a good idea. So when we come back, we're going to go into Chapter 12, and I'll build you some tables. Be back shortly.